Welcome everyone to Armored Warfare League Week 7 of Season 1. I am Cerebius.
I'm Raux.
And we are bringing you tonight the 8th Canadian Hussars and...
versus the red team.
The red team.
Which is going to get... when they're blue, it's just going to throw everybody off.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that right out there.
It is.
I think they did it deliberately.
Yeah, it should be quite the tongue twister for us, so please laugh away and have a great time with it. I believe they're putting their teams together now, and we should be rolling into action here shortly. While we're waiting, though, let's talk about some free stuff.
Oh, I love free stuff.
Yeah, because we have free stuff tonight. We are giving away
free food.
Free food. I didn't know that. Really?
Well, I was asking you. I was wondering here. I'm wondering if we're giving away free food, because that's always good stuff.
No free food. We are giving away 2 Chieftain Mark Leader 6 and 1 WZ-1224.
Yeah, and the links to those will be in the chat. We hope you all get there, and I hope you guys win stuff, because winning stuff is always nice.
It is always nice to win stuff.
And the first battle will be fought on Lost Island.
Yeah, we're going to go to Lost Island, so we should be jumping in with them here any second now. As there they are. And it looks like...
the red team, being MOH, is the red team, having brought 4 T-64s, 1 Lab 300, and an XM800T as a scout. We have the 8th Canadians bringing a similar setup of 4 T-64s, a BMD-1, and 2 Lab 300s.
So a little different here for the red team.
Indeed, especially because the red team is down a tank.
Are they really missing?
They are down a tank. I looked at it.
They only have 6.
They only have 6 tanks.
Okay. I guess such as it is. This should be a good battle. Both of these teams are dead even in the leagues.
Right, which means they have the same amount of points, same amount of wins, same amount of losses, and tonight it'll decide who's top dog, I guess.
One of these teams will go up on the other unless every match is a draw.
That would be interesting, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm thinking they're going to want that. So it looks like the red team didn't bring a Lab 300 with them.
No, they brought an XM800T, and what they're doing is you can see them, and they did bring a Lab 300.
Well, no, normally we see 2 Lab 300s and then either the BMD or the XM800. And then either T-64s, or of late we've been seeing...
some Starships.
The Starships, but it looks like these guys are back to T-64s.
Right. And so here we are. It looks like it's going to be a middle fight. We have 1 XM800T in the north searching, and the Lab 300s with the BMD-1 from the 8th Canadian Hussars down in the south scouting it out. But it looks like it's going to be a fight around the cap circle with main battle tanks mostly.
And, if the red team can push here, they have an opportunity to kind of go ahead early, as the 8th Canadian Hussars have sent 3 scouts south. So while they're already down a tank, this effectively makes their opponent down 3 tanks, so they have a 2-tank advantage here in the middle.
Right, so if they push it correctly and do it very well, this should be an easy win. But who can say, as it looks like the 8th Canadians have got themselves in a very good position. They seem to be well coordinated and know how to fire and angle their armor against one target. And here we can see that the red team is in the cap circle, the red team being blue, in the cap circle there and holding it off, looking to pressure the opponents into coming after them while they're in the cap circle, which I think is an interesting move, as they are down 2 tanks.
That is an interesting move. Well, they're only down 1.
Right, but one of their tanks is not out of play. You got 3 from the 8th Canadians.
Oh, the Lab 300. Oh, they're
and a T-64 just got knocked out. Soldier Boy knocked out. Bullet 1379.
So the teams are brought to even.
Right.
And I kind of like this approach. It's like, okay, we're gonna put some pressure on in the cap circle. Oh, they just drove out of it. And just kind of bring the battle right there.
Yeah, and if we look, we can also see that the red team's XM800T and the Lab 300 are coming around the backside, getting ready to put in an amazing flank. And all those T-64s from the 8th Canadians will not be able to deal with them simply because they're facing the other T-64s at the front.
Yeah, that XM800T, I think he's going full stealth here. I don't know that anybody's ever picked up where he is.
Oh, he just got knocked out, I think. Nope,
no, the XM800T is still in play for the red team, although they're not doing as very well.
Both teams have lost 2 T-64s.
Yeah, so it's really back to where it was it started with the 8th
and now it's tied again
one.
With the red team taking 2 tanks down. Like, it's so confusing.
Yeah, it is so confusing, but that's okay. We'll get there.
And we can see the brawl coming down in the middle. We have a couple of people out of position there, but tanks being unable to take the shots, or shots missing and bouncing, as we saw there. Banshee 3 there in the bouncing shots very well off the front of his armor. He's obviously played this tank a lot, and I think that's going to come down to winning, is the knowledge of the tank. So far, these teams are even still since the beginning. The 8th Canadians are still up a tank, but same from where they started.
Well, they've been trading a tit for tat all evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's good play. It's really good play.
It is, and there it is. It's even again. Banshee, they're knocking out one of the T-64s, which is a good kill. But now the red team is in a bit of a pickle. It looks like they're going to pick up one more T-64, but they are surrounded, which could cause them a lot of trouble. In fact, there's the shots from the back, and now it's just an XM800T with that surround coming in effectively and pinching them off. Very well executed. Now I think we're getting misreadings. Nope, there it goes.
That's it. And that is game.
Yes, it is. Well fought by both teams.
Well fought by both teams, but that was the 8th Canadian that took the win there, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. Is the Artie too much for you? Tired of constantly getting raining shells and missiles? Wish it would just stop. I got it. The Artie umbrella, just in time. Only 1,999 credits. Pop this baby up. Let it rain, because it's the only thing it's gonna stop. Keeps you dry, but your tank's still smoking. Billy Bob's. You don't want it, but we got it. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. Just wanted you all to know we're filling up the tanks and getting ready to roll out with a new line to solve all your problems and mine. Man, they say my Grandpappy Zhang was third world. Wait till you see these. Light tanks with heavy guns, heavy tanks with light guns. How about a solid tank with a super gun? Special one-shot kill capabilities. Super scope so you can find all your enemies and friends on the field. Armor so strong, 20 tanks can't stop it. Sounds great, right? You like it, I like it, let's make a deal. Billy Bob's, your new tank supplier. Tank's never gonna be built or supplied. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob's, you know who it is. My cousin Cletus was telling me you get tired of seeing all them old sprockets on the T-54. Want some bling on those old tracks? Billy Bob Hubs. Only 3,600 credits. You get some bling and a lift for your tank. Watch things go under while you track over. Billy Bob's, we bring styles to tanks. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob surplus tanks. You tired of all those tanks from Zhang? Don't like the way they sneak in and blow you up? Billy Bob's, we have all your bolt-on armor. Prices may vary. Not available in any countries, nations, on or off this store planet. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. I'd just like to thank those guys over at Gorlon's Armory and Armored Warfare for making it so easy to hijack their signal. Sell my wares. Just like my Grandpappy Zhang used to say, son, if you can't marry a wolf, buy a shishkin. And if that's too much, call Billy Bob's for all your tank needs. Billy Bob, tank supplies. All shipping handled through Pluto Express. Wait times vary from never to not going to get it.
Alright, and we're here. You can see the Lost Island map right here. The circles define the spawn points for both teams. And here we had the red team. They had their main battle tanks push up through the center of the map, while their scouts run around the north side trying to pull in a flank. Whereas the 8th Canadian Hussars also pushed into the center of the map, and then they had their scouts and tank destroyers come around this way. And I think, Trebius, the deciding factor of this match was the fact that the scouts from the red team were not able to get back in time to do a lot of damage, whereas the scouts from the 8th Canadian Hussars were able to cut in a lot faster right there, or even around, whereas this side is completely blocked off from the red team's scouts, and that just made the difference.
Yeah, there's no shortcut from the north. Once you come in on the north side and commit to that, you're going all the way around to get back into the middle, because you got that big cliff going down into the water,
right?
And there's no shortcut there. So that was a difficult approach, and I agree with you. I think those scouts going north cost them substantially, and may have even been the deciding factor in the game.
It may have been. I think a better way to do it, instead of sending them all around the northern side, if you were going to send them north, not to send them in through that water, I would send my scouts, I think, right through here, coming around that way, or even cutting off right through here and trying to take a shortcut up here.
Well, the downside to both of those approaches, good, But the downside is they don't see what's going on up in that north line.
No, they miss it completely.
And so somebody could go around them. But the north flank is a difficult flank, and we really haven't seen the north come into play
Not in the leagues we have.
in the leagues. Now
In random battles, it's usually where the main battle tanks go to disco, but that's about it.
yeah, I like that. Go to disco. That's cool. But yeah, the north in the leagues has really been out of play. We've seen a lot of battles in the south where it's wide open. We've seen some battles in the middle, but we've rarely seen anything. I mean, there's been one, maybe two that I can recall where everybody went north and the battle was north.
Right.
We've seen one team go north and one team go south as they circle each other. You know, kind of doing a ring around the rosies thing. But beyond that, there's just nothing there. So it was a really good battle. It stayed close the whole time.
It did. It was tit for tat the whole way. And I think if the red team had had their other tank in, I think that could have been a deciding factor. I think it could have made a difference.
It could be. And it still looks like they're going to be down a tank. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
It will indeed.
So, yeah, that was a very good battle. Well played by both teams. Hat goes off a little bit to the red team for staying with it beside being down.
Right.
They didn't throw the flag and say, okay, well, we're going to forfeit. Or let's battle anyways.
I don't think anybody would, is if you have the chance to forfeit or try. I would try all the way, because if you forfeit, you lose. And if you try, there's a shot that you can win.
Yeah, you have at
Slim
least
as it may be.
Slim as it may be. And, you know, these guys entering these things are highly competitive.
They are.
These are not people that are just going to give up and walk away.
These are people.
So-
I believe that the players in the leagues are usually in the top third of teams in random battles of their own team.
I can see that. I can see that very easily. And that would be, yeah, I can see that. Well, it's the top teams in the league. I'm not so sure about some of the bottom
Well,
teams
it
in
takes
the
you a little while to
league.
get there to work out your team and everything.
So while we have just a minute, we would like to send out thanks to the My.com staff and the Obsidian Entertainment team for helping us put these together. There have been changes in the observer mode that have been highly helpful, and we really appreciate what they've done on our behalf for that. We also like to send out thanks to Armored Warfare Leagues. They're the ones who put all this on. They make the whole thing possible. They are not paid or compensated in any way for doing this, and that is just something that's really exciting to see, and we fully support them for that. Our thanks also go out to AW Tactics for putting together these wonderful maps that we use for us to show all these crazy red lines that Raux likes to draw all over the place.
Hey, it's a picture of my brain. That's what it is.
Finally, we would like to send out thanks to the Gorlon's Army team and staff. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this is not just Raux and I. There are actually 6 people that make this whole thing happen. We have over on managing the chat and moderating all of that is Bullets. Camera number 1 is Luna Knight. Camera number 2 is Care Bear. Running the booth and making sure that everything goes smooth is Grindley.
That or leading the Q d'état, one of the two.
Yeah. And then supporting him in the booth and helping him make sure that everything goes smoothly is Tank Blaster.
Also the voice of Billy Bob.
Also the voice of Billy Bob, something we would be deadly sore without. And next to that, of course, I have Raux. And finally, there is me. I am Cerebius. What the... And Cerebius likes to show you the rest of something else.
Yes, Cerebius does.
So I'm going to take full credit for Raux's mistake there, but that was funny, and
yeah,
we'll all laugh at Raux. Grinley is now slapping him, and Tank Blaster is holding him down. So that worked out really well, and I think they're threatening to fight him later. So we're moving on to the battle on the screen.
2 minutes till our next match.
2 minutes till our next match. So given that, I think we'll let you be entertained with a little bit of a highlight reel. Do we have a highlight of one of the tanks that we might be able to get to? We tried putting some of these together. And yeah, here we go. Here is a highlight of some of the tanks that are being played tonight. The T-64 main battle tank is the current favorite in the Soldier of Fortune League, given its well-roundedness when compared to the other main battle tanks of the same tier. With the second highest penetrating gun of the Tier 4 main battle tank group, the Starship's 152mm gun being the highest penetrating, the aim time, accuracy, and fire rate gives it a much higher damage per minute rate than all the rest of the Tier 4 main battle tanks. The gun, while very good, is not the only attraction for the leaders of the teams. Another attraction is the armor and mobility, which are both very good. The armor at the front being 255mm of raw thickness. This armor is also highly sloped, which gives it an effective thickness of around 400mm. The mobility of the T-64 in a straight line is an acceptable 61 kilometers per hour, and while the agility of this vehicle is quite low, the damage per minute, thick armor, and fast speed all make up for this shortcoming. The T-64 is best played in a hold-down, frontline position, absorbing damage and hitting the opponents for all they're worth. The T-64 has not gone completely uncontested as the main battle tank of choice, as some have chosen instead to use the Type 69 Mark II for a slightly better gun handling, explosive reactive armor, and smoke grenades, that the T-64 is just not equipped with. Only time will tell which main battle tank will become the king of the Soldier of Fortune League.
Woo, doggy, Billy Bobs. Don't like that Starship? Give us a call. We'll send you a brand new crew, complete with Vulcan gunner. Set phases to sun, arm all photon torpedoes. Oh, wait, we can't send that thing into orbit, but we can sell you some labors. Billy Bobs, we get things done. Vulcan's not included. Woo.
Okay, and welcome back, everyone. We are on Lost Island.
Yet again.
And the teams will have switched sides now. So we will see that we have...
The red team being the red team.
Yes, the red team is red, and they have spawned on the west. And the blue
Canadians.
team, the 8th Canadians, are blue, and they have spawned on the east. So I don't see any changes in tanks. Well, I take that back. Red brought 2 Lab 300s. They've dropped the XM800T.
Right, which I think is a good choice. The Lab 300, being down a tank, they can't afford to be missing that gun. And because the Lab 300s have better guns, I think it's a good choice to drop the XM800T, because the Lab 300s still have the vision range and mobility and can act as pseudo scouts.
Yeah, I think if I was going to go down a tank, that would be the tank that I would prefer to be down by.
Yeah, it is the XM800T. And it's a BMD-1 that the Canadians have chosen. They've got a BMD-1 and 2 Lab 300s. So aside from the BMD-1, the teams are completely identical.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have another great match.
We are, and it looks like both teams are moving southern-ish. We have the red team pushing quite southern with a lot of their main battle tanks, a couple of them staying in the middle to prevent a Tar Rush fast cap, and we have most of the 8th Canadian Hussars pushing up into the cap circle with the BMD-1 scouting far, far south to make sure he sees everything and nothing sneaky happens. Maybe he's going to fire a couple missiles off to stop those T-64s from doing anything silly, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like the Lab 300s may have spotted each other as they did engage for... They saw each other and seemed to have backed off for just a little bit. We'll see if that holds or if that was just me kind of fantasizing. And there it is. The red team has pushed it now. They're in the cap circle saying, come get me if you can.
Which I don't know if is the best choice for the red team. They're down a tank, and doing that just means the enemy know exactly where they are and can push in.
This is a really difficult cap circle to defend, and you've got to be in there forever.
You do, but the best tank at holding this cap circle, I think, are the T-64s. They can get hold down behind that airplane and just destroy everything.
If they don't get flanked, yeah.
If they don't get flanked, what you can see the Lab 300s down there trying to do is we come back to the capsule in the epic fight. And here we can see the 8th Canadian Hussars, Bullet 1379 there, doing a great job at taking off a position that can contest the hold down plane area and fire shots into the side, which is a very good position. You can see that they've reset the cap and they now have tanks in the cap contesting it and having the counter count in their favor, as it were.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily counting in their favor, but it's not counting against them anymore as both teams are neutral in the cap.
Yeah, it's been stalemated. And here we can have the 8th Canadians. They're pushing in and they're going after the T-64s, pushing them out of the cap circle. It looks like they're all piling up for one big push before they go in, while the BMD-1 and Lab 300 are knocking out the lone Lab 300 from the red team down in the south, which could prove to be devastating for the red team.
Oh, and there's a pretty face right there. Some good knife fighting going on as the 8th Canadians and the red team engage each other face to face. Although
both sides are dead. They're both hold down behind that plane, so they can't hurt each other.
yeah. So it's an interesting position to be in that you can stare at each other and say cheese, but
you
really
can't shoot. You don't have the gun depression to shoot the side, And there's no weak spots that you can really hit, especially if you're moving around as much as they are. You can't hit the mobility, so they're just firing rounds at other opponents that they can hit. And here you have a T-64 trying to push you out and get...
he's definitely going to get earned a
yeah,
shot
he's
in the
gonna.
side
Yeah,
for
there
sure.
he is. He's about to go down, I think. Oh, and he misses.
Oh,
Don't know how.
Yo,
But-
I've had that happen to me so many times in match.
where the tank just pulls back, just that little hair, and it bounces off their
It
front.
bounces off, or I get critical track damage. It seems to happen mostly when I'm in third party, or when I'm looking at it from the third person point of view.
Right.
Not when I'm in the snipe camera. There's a nice battle going on by the LAV
Yeah,
300s.
good job. I think that the blue LAV 300 just
Oh!
exploded, but they both delivered shots. The red one would have died, but it lasted for 2 health.
Yeah.
Curse those low damage rolls.
Dang that low damage roll. And the teams are at 3-2.
Again, even, but the red team's lack of a man is really hurting them here.
Is
They're
really hurting them
They're
here.
just getting taken every time.
Yeah, and now they're down to just one tank.
And it's on 2 health. And I don't see him winning this against 2 T-64s.
No, and
Nope,
there goes his
he
turret
goes.
flying through the air as he gets obliterated there. So again, 8th Canadian taking another win, and that takes us
Again,
to...
a close win, and one tank could have helped the red team win that one.
I have to agree with you. I really have to. I think these would have been... I don't know if the outcome would have been different.
Want to live the American dream? Have the power of the M1A2 at your fingertips? Is Wolfie just too much to deal with? Come to Billy Bob's. We just acquired a gaggle of the all-new M1B4. These new premium American tanks are fresh from our warehouses. Drive the power, intimidate your friends. Be the man or woman as appropriate. This is all yours for one low price of 19.9 million credits. But wait, there's more. Included in this deal is a complete list of all the parts you will need. Still not enough? I will include at no additional charge a complete list of the tools you will need to assemble it. Log in now. Purchase yours today. All parts, tools, and labor must be supplied by you.
The BMD-1 Tier 4 Soviet Armored Fighting Vehicle, which is currently the leading choice of AFV for the battalions and PMCs taking part in the Armored Warfare Soldier of Fortune League. The BMD-1 is equipped with 2 weapon systems, the main one being its 73mm smoothbore gun, which is capable of dealing 325 average damage per shot. The BMD-1 also has its fixed-in-place 127mm anti-tank guided missile launcher mounted above the turret, which is capable of guiding shape-charged munitions to its target to deliver a payload of 406 damage on impact. As with most AFVs, the BMD has next to no armor and instead relies on its camouflage, view range, and mobility to keep it alive during the heat of battle. The BMD is usually played in a passive scouting/harassing role, staying in the back to preserve its hit points until the end of battle, when it can rush forward and eliminate targets that are already engaged, and, for the most part, avoid getting hit. While the BMD is the current favorite of most of the PMCs/battalions, there are a few who prefer to use the American XM800T for the scouting role, as it performs better in a knife fight against other AFVs and can thus be counted on to usually eliminate the opponent's scout. It has taken a backseat, however, due to its inability to harm MBTs with its low penetration on its 20mm cannon.
Woo, doggy! Billy Bob surplus tanks. Does your Fox have traction issues? Does it spin as fast as the wheels? Come to Billy Bob's. We have in stock right now the all-new Fox Slips. These bad boys are as smooth as a baby's butt, guaranteed to apply the maximum amount of rubber to the road, mud, snow, grass, whatever. You will spin to win. Your battalion will call you slick. Log on now and get yours today. Delivery only guaranteed on Pluto, and all others must wait. Woo, doggy! Billy Bob's here. You tired of getting hit when you sneak in a peek? Billy Bob's pop-up periscope. You pop it up, see what's happening. Then you can get your shots in when it counts. No hits on you, all shots on them. Man, this is something we need. Down pop-up periscope, on to the next tank. Pop-up periscope is just cardboard with 2 mirrors, all supplied by you. Some assembly is going to be required.
Alright, and here we are back in the garage here to talk about some of the teams and everything else.
Oh, the overlay.
And it looks like that due to the UI changes in 0.15, we're having some problems here in the garage.
The overlay doesn't quite fit. And that's my fault. That's Cerebius' fault. I'll take full credit for that. I'm sorry, but
We're 1-1 now. We're tied.
yeah, we're 1-1.
Alright, but the thing is, Cerebius, in these leagues, okay, everything's a lot more, how should I put this, accurate, okay? The slightest problem is going to show up as a much bigger problem. For instance, if you're in a random match, and one team is down 1 tank, okay, you are not going to see a big deficiency. It's pretty close still, with one side having a slight advantage. Here in the leagues, however, with the teams being so competitive on comms and following each other, that one tank, I think, has led the red team to win. To lose both of these matches, even though they've played incredibly well, it's really hurting them, I think. What do you think?
You know, I don't know if it would have changed the outcome. Okay, but I think the games would have been both matches would have been substantially closer. Yeah, they could have won, they could have lost. I don't know. The matches were really close. That one extra tank would have made a difference. Like you said, you're on comms. These guys are playing at a higher level. They're playing together. They play together during the week, so they practice together.
They know what each other are going to do. They know how to cover one's back, and they know what positions they all like.
Right. So, given all of that, you know, I don't know. I know that the other tank would have made a difference. Whether or not it would have resulted in a win for the red team, I don't know. But I think their opportunities would have been more, and the potential of a win would be substantially higher if they had that extra man.
Yep. And both teams are starting to ready up again. But I think it's Port Storm now, which is where we saw the famous Taw Rush.
Yes, we did see the Taw Rush and its famousness.
Do you think that the red team would pull one of those off? They're down a tank.
Okay, so the Taw Rush succeeded because of several factors. One, they took in tanks that had cap bonuses.
Right.
So they took 3 of them straight in. So they dramatically reduced the cap time by having 3 tanks in the cap circle and each tank bringing a bonus.
And probably having a commander and retrofits designed to just increase that cap speed.
Yes, to increase that cap speed. So could the red team pull it off? Sure they could. Anybody could. Okay, 3 tanks into the cap circle and the others to defend is a very viable solution. Now we're going to switch. We're going to go from encounter mode to standard mode.
Right, which
So-
you can't do the Taw Rush on.
No, doing
Because
the
it can't-
Taw Rush in standard mode isn't going to work. So doing that in Port Storm, they would have to go completely around the opponent team and get to their base.
And hope
they-
nothing stops them.
And hope nothing stops them and they don't lose any tanks. It would be incredibly difficult. Not impossible, because nothing is impossible in these matches.
Right, just incredibly difficult.
Just incredibly difficult, yes. So it appears as though there's a little bit of a challenge as they're trying to get their teams to ready up. So I expect that to be resolved here shortly.
Right.
They will not change sides because they changed maps.
Okay, so the red team is still the red team.
The red team will still be the red team.
Very nice.
The 8th Canadian will be the blue team. Because they change maps, you don't change sides. So every game there's a change, and you're either changing sides or you're changing maps.
Got it.
And that's the way that works.
Now, what I think is going to be interesting is I think we're going to see another middle fight. Okay, we can see a lot of T-64s here. Not all of the T-64s, but we can see a Lav 300 and a Sheridan. It looks like maybe. But it looks like the red team is bringing T-64s and a BMD-1 as their scout, which says to me that they're going for a middle fight
Yeah,
with
well,
main battle tanks.
Yeah, I think they're accepting the fact that they don't have. They're willing to lose eyes and go into that with more armor.
Right.
And I think that's smart on their part.
I think it can work on Port Storm because you have that big hill blocking off the side, so you can't get as many good flanks, and vision is not as important in that port area.
Well, you know, the thing we've seen with Port Storm is the hill. The team that spawns on the north gets the hill, controls the hill,
And has a significant advantage.
and it seems to have a significant advantage when they get and control that hill.
Properly.
Whether Port Storm is encounter or whether Port Storm is standard doesn't seem to make a difference. Holding that hill is huge to the success of winning the match.
Which I personally think is down to you have vision range, you can see everywhere, and you can fire on everything, but you can also be shot at from everywhere, Cerebius. So what do you think of the pros and cons of that position, being able to be shot at from anywhere or being able to fire at everything? Which one do you think is the better to have?
Well, you know, the downside is if you can get a scout in there with high vision range lighting them up, you can have your big gun shooting at them. They can't even see them.
Right.
You know, but that takes coordination, which they have. They're on
Right.
comms. And a lot of skill on your scout to stay alive and keep everybody visible.
Which is a very difficult role to play, the scout. Probably one of the more difficult roles to play in the game is you have to see everything without being seen. And if you are seen and you have to fight, you're down armor and gun.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to do that, but you could do it. You could succeed in that environment with that capability if you're very careful and skilled.
Which
But-
these teams are.
They are. So it could work, but it is going to be a very difficult. I don't care how good your team is. That's a
very difficult thing to play and pull off simply because of how high tiered the other team is as well. You're playing against another very careful, very solid team and composition. So and they're thinking these aren't bots you're fighting, so they could try something completely unexpected and just blow you out of the water.
They
Or
could.
vice versa.
And speaking of unexpected, the 8th Canadian Hussars are bringing a Sheridan.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The Sheridan can be good. It's got a really nasty gun and it's very quick.
It does have a really nasty gun, and it is very quick.
The problem is hitting something with said gun.
Yeah, that gun's got an aiming circle that's typically bigger than most tanks at 100 meters.
Right. What I think they're going to do with it, I think they're going to send it around the outside. Okay? Because notice the 8th Canadians are the ones, and they switch out the Sheridan, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Okay, never mind.
No, wait. They got it. It's just not on the overlay. It's cut off. So they have the Sheridan, and it looks like the match is going to be rolling soon, but I think they're going to send the Sheridan out around the south, come in behind, and just derp them right in the back and knock out those engines and get those engine fires.
There we go. You're awesome. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. That Sheridan throws. I don't think we have seen a Sheridan in the meta
I don't think so.
ever.
I don't think
Definitely
so.
not on Port Storm. I don't think we've seen it in the league yet. So this will be very interesting to see. It's kind
Seeing
of exciting,
somebody load
actually.
in there as they bounce around. That's what
Yes,
it is.
as
Just
they
loaded
bounce
in.
around.
We loaded in earlier than his team. Very nice.
Yeah.
And he spawned way in the back.
Yeah, he did. What's up with that?
He is the Dumbo of the elephant herd.
I guess. I don't know. You go sit in the corner.
We don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
Here we can see an awesome gold paint job that Arthur Dent has on his BMD1. Very nice looking.
Very nice. Very nice. So the match starts in 7 seconds. We're in standard mode. We have the red team in red, thank goodness, spawning on the north.
Taking all T-64s and one BMD1, so they only have one pair of eyes and the rest of it is armor. While the 8th Canadians have taken a little more liberal role. They have less T-64s, but they also have a LAV 300 and a Sheridan. So they're essentially down one T-64. And that's about it. But they're also up a tank to the LAV 300 advantage, which I think is very interesting.
The LAV 300s are amazing little tanks.
They are. They're quick.
We have seen them in every match since the beginning,
Right.
which has got to say something about what they are and what they can do.
And here we have the LAV 300s from the 8th Canadians taking the hill, trying to get the hill before the red team can. And the red team has omitted the quick hill strategy. They were close to the hill, but they forewent it. I think that's how you say that properly.
They foregone their opportunity there. That's an interesting strategy that we're seeing them play.
But wait, you can see this T-64 is going to push right out, and this LAV 300s and the Sheridan might just nail them. I've been in this position before, and you can nail those T-64s as they come across. They might take early damage, which could be huge to the 8th Canadians' advantage. But we can see the Sheridan missed his shot completely there. It looks like the LAV 300 probably had a little too little lead on his target and missed as well.
But they were there trying to take that shot.
Oh,
which
I
was
take
good
that back.
play
It
for
looks
them.
like one of the T-64s has taken hits. It was Soldier Boy 92 who took hits as he came across. Looks like he took one hit from I think it's a LAV 300 that sent that shot at him.
Yeah, hard to say for sure. That it could have been. It could have been.
It could have been either. And we can see that the red team and the 8th Canadians are kind of circling each other, with the red team coming around and circling in the 8th Canadians' main battle tanks.
So, is the red team gonna push for a cap? This is an interesting strategy they're going for. I kind of like it.
If they push for a cap, this is a very hilly map. And because it's hilly, you can hide your lower plate weak spot.
But they're not in the hills. They're in
no,
the alleys.
that's where the cap circle is.
The cap circle's in the hill, yeah. But
So they're going to go for a cap. They can sit in the hold down positions and bounce shots. But they've got to get around that LAV 300 who's going to give their positions away.
Yeah, they've got to get around that, and so that's very interesting as to what's going on there.
And here we're going to have Bolt 1379 again, a star of tonight, running away from all the bad main battle tanks down in the south. He's like, nope, I'm out of here, guys. See you later. And we have the Sheridan and the BMD4, or the LAV 300, Lab 300 up on the hill, knocking out the BMD-1. The BMD-1 just went down, I think, or...
No, he's still in it. He's still in it. Oh no, he's down. Okay, my mistake. He's still
Yep.
showing up on the mini map, and I wasn't expecting that.
Bugs in custom matches. What are you going to do? Here we have Bullet 1379 making a very clean getaway, and it looks like the red team is now completely split, which is not good for them, as they are down 2 tanks right now.
They can make this work.
They can't.
If they could draw in the 8th Canadians into a center position and flank them, they could make this work.
They could, but if Soldier Boy gets hit by even an HE shell, he's going to explode. And that'll bring him down another tank. And once you're down 2 tanks, you're usually lost. And
Yeah.
because they're already down a tank and then they lost one, they're down 2 tanks. So the chances of them coming back from this are very slim, I think.
Yeah, he better hope his crew does not have flatulence issues right now, because it might take his tank completely out of it. The look on Raux's face when I said that was so worth the sentence, everyone. I just want to say that up front.
Yep, and it looks like Soldier Boy is about to go down fighting here, firing his gun and
Oh,
remembering
and there he
because there it
goes.
goes, explosions of glory.
Yeah.
And here we have Bullet 1379 taking an outside position, and we also have Red, what does it say? Red Rupture.
Yeah,
Red
is gonna be-
Rapture.
this is really hard now, because the red team has lost 2 tanks.
And they're already down 1, so essentially they're down 3.
They're down 3. Yeah, this is a really difficult position. This is not impossible, but it is
It's
going
pretty
to be hard.
close.
It's going to be really hard for them.
Oh, and the red team pulls. They pull it back and kill, but it looks like the 8th Canadians are just YOLOing right in and knocking them out and getting the surrounds on, which they should be doing right now. And I don't see the red team coming back, or the red Canadians, as I called them.
No, the red team, I think, is going to suffer as another one goes down. They are literally outnumbered 3
And
to
surrounded.
1. And surrounded. Yeah, it is really difficult to take on 3 tanks when those 3 tanks are coordinated on comms. You could get away with it. I mean, we've seen plenty of highlight reels from World of Tanks and Armored Warfare
Oh, yeah.
that show this one guy
One
taking
weasel
out.
taking on 5 tanks. That's not happening in the
Yeah,
leagues.
that's not happening here, because everybody's on comms. They're just going to gang up on them and end the match.
Yep.
So they are together. That's smart of them. I think that's intelligent play there.
There's only 1 left. The mini-map's fooling you.
All right. Never mind.
The mini-map's broken.
All right. He's consolidated himself into a single position.
And he exploded in that position, defending it to the last shell in his tank. Well done, sir. I salute you.
Well done. Yes.
Woo, doggy, Billy Bob, surplus tanks. We got all the things you need so you can quit losing. You tired of being turned into a rubble of heap? Come on down to Billy Bob's. We got more armor. You like armor? We like guns. We'll sell them both. Bolt-on accessories included. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. You like the Striker missile boat? So do I. You tired of always running out of ammo? Me too. Well, I gone and done it again. The Striker missile boat piggyback. You tow it behind you. When you need more ammo, get out and reload. Then the Striker missile boat piggyback. It carries all those little extras you need and want. It carries the load till you explode. Trailer will explode when hit. So will you. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob surplus armor. You like the Lav 150? Tired of small guns? Billy Bob's. We have bolt-on cannons. As long as you bolt it on, it will take pictures. You know we love to take care of you. Billy Bob's, home of the surplus armor and bolt-ons. Give us a call. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. Mark 6 for you. Got all the shot power covered, but you lacking speed? Turret turning a little slow? Man, I've got it. Billy Bob's Quick Lube. Only 48,000 credits. Get that turret twisting, those tracks are rolling. Guaranteed to pick it up by 38%. Even helps with reloads. Billy Bob's Quick Lubes. Wish this product was real. Never going to be made. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob here. You getting heated with all those little tanks come in, steal your shot? Move in so fast like gnats at a picnic? Ooh-wee, I got just the thing for you. Pests be gone. One spray of this, they'll fall over in their tracks. Pests be gone. No more sniping on your snacks till they pick themselves back up. Woo, doggy, Billy Bob's here. Tired of all that ice making your tank slip and slide around? You need Billy Bob's anti-slip and grip pellets. Just one bag of this, you'll get all the grip you've ever needed. Climb anything, climb anywhere. Never slide back, just tank forward. Billy Bob's, we get you there. Anti-slip and grip pellets only available on Neptune.
Raux, do you know what's going to happen immediately following this match?
Spontaneous combustion by myself.
Yes, we are going to light you on fire. And then we're going to give away free stuff.
You're going to wish you were as hot as me when I'm on fire.
Yeah, I can't keep up with you that way. You are the king of hotness.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay, now we got that worked out. Yeah, we are going to give away free stuff.
Ooh, I like free stuff.
Yeah, we are giving away a premium Chinese tank, the WZ-1224. And we are giving away the only way to get it, the Chieftain Mark 6 liter.
Which has special camouflage straight from Billy Bob himself.
Yes, if you can get it as shipping goes through Pluto. So
here it comes Express these days.
Yeah, Billy Bob's version of Express is not something I would want to participate in personally. So you can get either one of those, but to do it, you've got to sign up for the raffles.
Right.
And to sign up for the raffles, real easy. There's a link in the chat. If it's not there right now,
it will be there soon.
It will be there soon.
And you can request it.
And you can request it, and it may have been there just a little bit ago. So scroll up a little bit, and you might find it. We will do those raffles immediately following, and we will announce them live right after the matches.
Also, the winners will receive their codes about 30 minutes to an hour after they've been called. Just a heads up to give us some time for failback there, guys.
Yeah, it takes about an hour for us to get the codes put together. We got tracking stuff that tracks all of it, and it's a mess.
It's work.
Yeah, it takes some work. So if you are a winner, if we announce you as a winner, you will get your code about an hour after we go into that.
If it's late by 24 hours, go ahead and email Raux@gorlonsarmy.com, and I will make sure to get it sorted out for you.
And he will. Raux is right on top of that type of stuff. So here we are. We're back, and it doesn't look like the teams are changing the meta. They still have a Sheridan.
You say that like it's a sin of humanity. Sheridan.
Oh my gosh, they got a
from
Sheridan.
Hell.
Yes. Your tank has no tracks.
It's not a tank. A Ford Fiesta is more of a tank than you.
I just struggle with this one. The gun on that tank is...
It's a shotgun. Let's just get out of the way. It's a shotgun.
It's a close range gun.
It's a blunderbuss.
And the tank's got no armor. You can't snipe with it.
Well, you can. Success is limited, but you can.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 shot in 10 is going to completely miss. 3 shots in 10 are going to hit somewhere you didn't want. And the other 6 shots might
blow the tracks off of your target.
Yes. More likely than not, you will do critical track damage, which I can tell you when I'm playing, that is the one thing I don't want to see ever.
Sarabius doesn't like the Sheridan.
Really?
If you couldn't tell.
Really? You couldn't tell that? You have to tell people this?
Hey, listen. Back in the early access days, when I was playing Sheridan Hardcore, I had the accuracy down to like 0.02. And so I'd be sitting 600 meters away, fire a shot, and just completely nuke a guy, and it was amazing.
That's not the Sheridan that's available now.
Hey, don't ruin my dreams.
I'm not going to ruin your dreams. Reality is. The Sheridan that's available now might hit the broadside of a barn from 50 meters.
Or from the inside. I was going to say inside.
It might hit the side of the barn from inside of it, yes. Okay. You could potentially go through a window. And if there is a window, odds are you will go through that window. Just because you're in the Sheridan. So it's fascinating to me that the 8th Canadians want to bring a Sheridan.
This straight from Billy Bob coming in the pipe, soon to be released, is the Sheridan Super Shot Enhancer.
I can't wait to see what Billy Bob dreams up for that. It should be fun and exciting. So, getting off of the Sheridan topic now, because we beat the living daylights out of it.
Oh, we can hit it some more.
No, I don't think we need to hit it anymore. Okay, so we're back.
Let's talk about your next favorite tank, the Starship.
Nobody's got one. So on this, they're going to come back. They're going to be Port Storm. They're going to switch sides.
Right.
So the 8th will have the north, which gives them easy access to the hill. They
Right.
went to the hill anyways. How do you think that impacts the game? Because in this case, the red team went away from the hill. They stayed completely away from it.
And they lost.
Yeah, they still lost. So, again, that holds. If you control the hill,
You
which
control the game. You win.
8 Canadians did,
You get that, you win.
then you win. And they
Eh,
did, and they won, even though the red team went nowhere near the hill.
Well, I think it went down to Soldier Boy taking those shots early on, where you had the Sheridan and the Lab 300 sitting up there taking pot shots with the T-64s, and it did damage early on, which I think may have changed the late game.
Yeah, anytime you're taking damage is going to change the late game.
Early in the game, I
Yeah,
think
especially especially when you're not returning fire to take more damage. Now, I don't recall. I'm sure you know this off the top of your heads, Raux. The T-64 does not have smoke, does it?
No.
So they really
Type 69 Mark II does, though.
Yeah, well, they didn't take Type 69 Mark IIs. They took T-64s. So they really couldn't have protected that, because that's the only thing they could have done, I think, better would have been to pop some smoke as everybody was going through there.
Right.
Just to make sure that they didn't do that. And
Oh, wait. Just in. The red team has another tank. They're it. They're even.
they did it!
Gridley being the mime over there, giving us all the news without saying a word.
Yeah, that was interesting, by the way, watching Grinley jumping
Dance
up and
around.
down.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Grinley, for the heads up on that. They do have an 8th tank now. Do you still bring the Sheridan?
Yes, they do. It's 7, not 8, Sreeb, yes. 7
Fine.
versus 7.
It's the 8th Canadians, all right, just like it's the red Canadians, all right, 8 teams.
Hey, Canadians can have red hair, okay? It can happen.
I don't even want to see that visual in my mind. Thank you for sharing. Please don't.
Grinley's dying just as I am.
I'm dying too, and I'm the one who saw that.
10 seconds until we're in the match.
Good. Thank goodness. So, with the 10-second countdown, I don't think they're going to change out the Sheridan. If I had seen a 7 guy coming in, I probably would have changed out the Sheridan. Being up a tank gives you some liberties. Being evenly matched, you don't have them anymore.
What I would do is I would trade out, if the enemy team had a Sheridan, I would bring in Type 69 Mark IIs. And the reason for that is the Sheridan only fires shaped charges. Type 69 Mark II gets explosive reactive armor at tier 4.
Yeah, tier 4. So we
And
have,
smoke grenades.
and keep in mind, everyone, the red team is in blue. So,
And has a lot of T-64s.
yeah, a lot of T-64s. This should be a very, very interesting match, as they have very little scouting capability, but a whole lot of gunfire.
Right. They have the red team has the advantage in armor, gun, and hit points. They can just soak up way more damage. Which
can.
the Sheridan can go ahead and be a hero and take that damage and even out it, I think. Maybe. If it hits something.
The Sheridan doesn't have that many hit points or armor.
No,
to
it's
take
gun.
those-
Its gun can balance it. Lots of
If
damage.
it hits something, yes.
That's what I said!
Sorry, I missed that part. You were talking, I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I see how valued I am. I'm just gonna leave right now.
Fine. Be that way. See if I care. Okay, they've started, and thank goodness we are saved by that.
Saved by the bell. And it looks like the red team.
The 8th Canadians are pushing the hill, and they're pushing it hard.